All right, so we've just taken a look at the person class, and we saw before that the bank account class. And now that we've thought through each of these classes and talked through them a bit, let's take a look at the practice problem number 18. So number 18, we're seeing given person.java and bankaccount.java, what would be printed by the code above? So the code above is setting up a new person named Chris, and then we're setting up a variable named BA, which just refers to a bank account, and we're assigning to BA the return value of calling p.getAccount. So what is this person's bank account? And then we're just going to check the balance of that and see what gets printed out. So if we trace through this code, and let's just reproduce it here. So I've had the code said person p bank account BA, and that is equal to p, or that gets assigned p's account. So we say, hey Chris, give me your account, or hey variable p, give me your account. And then we are just printing out the balance of bank account by asking it for its balance. And for our instance here, we could choose either P or BA to draw that window. We'll go with just the bank account for now. It doesn't really matter, because what's going to happen is this value is going to print out before that window shows up. But let's think about what's happening here and how we would understand this code if we were walking through it just on pen and paper. So we're constructing a new person, so we need to go look and see what happens when we construct a new person. We take the name that you give us and we assign that name to the instance variable name, and then we assign to account a new bank account. So we've got a fresh new bank account. Well, let's go see what the new bank account sets up. New bank account calls this constructor here, and so we're setting up the bank account's balance of 0. So we've got a person who has a bank account with $0 in it. On the next line, we're saying we're going to declare another variable. Its name is BA, and it has to have a bank account in it. And what we're going to assign to it is the result of calling person.getBankAccount. So if we look at person.getBankAccount, we see that, person.getAccount, sorry, I read that wrong. GetAccount is the method name, and it returns a bank account, and it's just going to return our instance variable account. So whatever we set up in this constructor is what's going to get returned back to us. And now we're going to check the balance of that account. So we haven't changed the balance of this account, so whatever we initialize it to is what it's going to be. So it should be 0, 0 when this runs, 0.0, and there it is. And if we were to check the balance here, it's 0.0. If we wanted to instead get the user interface of the person instance, we could get that by changing the instance to p. And so now we're working with this person, and this is the method we called, right? So when we said p.getAccount was equivalent to saying p0.getAccount, so this returns to us a bank account, and now down here we can call on this bank account instance that we have a name for because we've assigned it to a variable. We can now call methods on it, so we can say pa.checkBalance, and we see that it's 0. So let's try looking at, so the answer to number 18 is A, is 0. Let's try looking at number 19. So number 19 throws in a line where P gets a paycheck, so the person gets a paycheck. And we say P dot gets paycheck, right? So when this happens, so we've got a reference to our bank account, the person's bank account. We've got a reference to a person. We're saying, hey person, you got a paycheck. So we're going to have to look and see at what the person's get paycheck method does. And the person's get paycheck method deposits $2,000 into their bank account, the bank account that was constructed in the constructor. So we're adding $2,000 to that bank account if we go look at its implementation. So deposit says whatever you give us as an argument, which it turns out the argument is $2,000 that we see here. So now dollars will be 2,000. We're going to take our balance, which was previously 0, add 2,000 to it, and assign that to be the new value of our balance instance variable. So now we expect $2,000 to be printed out after this person gets a paycheck. And what's interesting to note here is that the bank account that we have set up as a local variable here refers to the exact same bank account that is still held as this person's instance variable, right? So they refer to one and the same thing. The same one that was created in the person's constructor. So even though we're asking the bank account that's now it's a local variable here for its balance, because they refer to the same bank account, we'll see that that is actually $2,000. And if we go and we check this person's bank account balance, it's $2,000.